Welcome back to InstaPhippsyFishing. This is my first video I'm filming of 2023. It is around walleye and northern pike opener. I'm currently in 4 different online tournaments, the main one being a pike tournament. It's a 5 pike stringer. You want to catch the longest pike that you can. Last year I got 2nd place, my first time ever making money. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to check that out. And I also caught the biggest fish of the tournament. I think it was 38.5 or 38.25 or something like that. So earned 2 checks last year in this tournament. Been really looking forward to it. I feel like I've learned a lot last season and I've made a few upgrades this year. This is also the Victoria Day, May 2-4 long weekend. So the last 4 days I've put in over 30 hours of fishing. So I'll get into a few of the pike that I've caught so far. Today is pike and walleye opener in the fisheries management zone that I'm located in. Been a bit of a weird morning. Started out with a half-hour conversation at the boat launch with some crazy lady. It was a little harder to launch my kayak than planned. I only have a car to tow my boat and my kayak trailers. So I have to put the car pretty far in the water to get the watercraft off, which is not ideal. So slower start, and then my fishing rod fell in the water within like the first 5 minutes. So this is not the day that I had been dreaming of for the past year. It started out super calm and warm, and now it is super crazy windy. So I'm hiding in a shallow bay, and while I'm in here, I'm gonna look for some gar pike because last year at this time of year, they were in here. I've run into a few bass, had a few bites from them, but they're not in season. So I've only caught the 1 pike today. It was about 18 inches. First fish, it's a pike. I'm not going to measure every pike like I did last year, just the big ones, but first fish of 2023, 10:54 a.m. Fish number 1, about an 18-inch pike. I think it's bad luck to not measure your first fish, but I decided not to. This year I'm going to try and focus only on measuring ones that are about 25 inches or bigger, because those are the ones that are actually going to, win me the tournament. So let's see if we can change gears, find a couple gar pike, and then I'll figure out what to do later for the pike tournament. One of my favorite things about the new kayak that I used this season, the Jackson Kayak Coosa FD, is having the freedom to stand up while fishing. Last year in the cheap Pelican I was using, it was a sit inside style kayak, so it just does not have the stability to stand up. But the Coosa is a super stable platform, so I was actually able to stand up in it, kind of like a stand-up paddleboard, and then I was using my 8-foot Yak Attack park and pull as basically like a stakeout pole to kind of just drag myself along stealthily rather than paddling and making noise. So in this super shallow flooded forest and brush, I was able to just stealthily paddle along while sight fishing for long-nosed gar, and it was so much fun. I found the key was moving super slow because if I went too fast, by the time I spotted a gar, I wasn't able to stop my kayak in time. But luckily I spotted this one just ahead of me. I was able to slow down, back up a little bit, and then stab my stakeout pole through one of my scupper holes to stay in place while I made a few casts at this gar. Oh my gosh, I got one. Oh boy. Please tell me yes. No. Yes. Just caught a gar pike. Yes. Okay. Got ourselves a nice gar pike. And off she goes. So launching my kayak in the new trailer was a lot harder than I expected. And within the first 5 to 10 minutes of launching the boat, one of my rods fell overboard. Spent like 45 minutes dragging the bottom for it, but didn't get it back yet. Probably go back for it later, but not the hot start to the day that I was hoping for. It took 1 hour, but I finally caught what I've been fishing for all day. My rod. Pike number 3 of the day, fairly small still, like 18 inches or so. Braving the storm, hooked into the first pike of the day. Another little ones, but the same size as the ones I was catching yesterday. About 21 inches. Well, thanks for biting, buddy. Oh. Could have my first something good. No, just a little pike. Second pike of the day. He hit it better and fought pretty good though. So I've caught 5 pike. That would be I think that's my smallest yet though. That's like 16 inches. So I would have my 5 pike stringer, but I just don't want to measure any of these small ones, and I still feel like I have confidence and we'll get into the big ones soon. This is fighting different. I can't tell if it's just a tiny pike. So 3 pike yesterday, 3 pike today. Unfortunately, they keep getting smaller. Six pike, 0 measurements. Pike number 4. Still too small to measure. But the action's better today than yesterday. That one is about 17 inches or so. It's my favorite time of year when the forest is flooded and I get to fish through the trees and forest. Got a pike. At first I thought it was a bass. Still tiny though. But I'm still a bit ahead of schedule. My 11th pike in 3 days. On day 4, the pike just weren't biting, so I did some more of that stand-up paddle style hunting for long-nosed gar. I didn't see as many gar this year as I have in previous years, but due to the much higher water levels, some of the forests were flooded, and it was just an absolute amazing, unique experience just stealthily navigating these flooded forests and trying to sight fish for these huge, elusive fish. We actually had some really bad flooding in this area in this spring. I believe it was the second highest water levels ever recorded in this area. I have a house and 2 family cottages on the river. We had to sandbag my house, which was a ton of work and an absolute nightmare. And then the cottages basically looked like they were just sitting in the middle of the river. It was absolutely ridiculous. We're lucky the levels didn't get as high as 2019 because that was terrible, but this was definitely not fun starting off the spring dealing with these flood levels. The only positive was getting to fish these unique places like flooded forests. Of those first 11 pike, they were all maybe 15 to 21 inches, super frustrating, fishing those long hours and, you know, getting a bite every 2 or 3 hours just to be a tiny little pike. And then today I finally got into these 2. At this point, I'm 5 days into the tournament, and I finally caught a fish that I think is worth measuring. Now, this is my first time in my new kayak with my new measuring boards. I had the right supplies, but just did not have the technique or the idea in my mind of how I wanted to measure fish in my new setup. And there's a chance this was the most frustrating part of my entire 2023 season, trying to measure this one pike. So my spinnerbait was still super tangled in the net from when I unhooked the pike. So when I went to scoop the pike back up, I didn't have enough line to reach him. So I had to drag the whole kayak forward with me to get enough slack line to scoop him up in the net. I'm laughing now editing it, but I remember at the time I was so mad. Oh, for sakes, man. This is ridiculous. So I was already on edge because I planned on crushing this tournament and just catching giant pike right away. I'm on day 5 without a single pike on the measuring board. And then I have my Yak Attack park and pole, which I planned on just being able to anchor down with, but the bottom was so rocky that I couldn't. So the waves just kept crashing me into shore and like hitting the bottom of my new kayak against all these rocks and boulders. But after losing the fish once and scooping it back up, as you can imagine, now I'm nice and calm and nothing can go wrong. No. God. What the absolute mother. That was, oh my god. Ugh. Stop it. That's officially the most difficult fish I've ever had to measure. Oh my gosh, that was annoying. First time measuring a pike in the new kayak. What an absolute nightmare. Oh. 23.75 inches. My 12th pike of the year, first one I've decided to measure. That was super frustrating. I don't know how much the GoPro's caught, but that pike escaped me probably 5 times. 3 times it jumped completely off the board over my net, and I had to jump out of the kayak and scoop it up with the net. Oh man, that got me mad. Whew. Hopefully that's the first of many. My 12th pike, the biggest one yet, 23.75 inches, which is nothing. So, I don't know. This is my 4th or 5th day out in a row, and it is just not going my way, but hopefully things pick up and it just keeps getting better. Also, yeah, he knocked my phone in the water, so I had to park my kayak on shore and walk out and get my phone and all sorts of goodness. I am just in awe of how frustrating that was. Huge pike. Huge pike. I didn't get something hooked very good. Come on, baby. Probably 30 plus. 30 inches plus, not pounds. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is what we've been fishing for. Holy, he's got me in the weeds. Not confident I'm gonna land this, just because there's all sorts of crap. Like I'm stuck under a friggin' tree. But if I do, oh my gosh, he barely fit in the net. How big is this thing? I mean, my net's not the biggest, but yes! It was all worth it. Oh gosh. Come on. Oh, thank God. Okay. Yes. Almost 30 hours of fishing for this thing. Oh, okay. Well, of course, one of the GoPros was off. You should have got most of the fight, though. What a beautiful sight on the huge spinnerbait. I bought that thing not too long ago. I think he was only hooked on the trailer hook too. Just praying I get a picture of this thing. That is the hard part. I'm guessing it's around 34 inches. Finally, gorgeous fish. Okay. Why is this so difficult? Okay, attempt number 1 was a fail. Luckily he landed in the net. Okay, you beast. Oh my gosh. I don't, like, you have to be kidding me. How is this so stupid and hard? 34.5. Oh. At least I got a video, so I should be able to screenshot if something goes wrong. I think I did it. Okay. Got the picture. Oh. That was close. Okay. Absolute chaos. So difficult. Oh man. I might have to rearrange things in my kayak a bit. I think I need to have it down at my feet because this is just killing me. Graceful release. Didn't get it for the other tournament, but that one's the least important. Oh, I'm so happy. So frustrated with how difficult this is, but so happy I caught the fish and got that super difficult friggin' picture. This is my new spinner bait that last pike was caught on, the 34.5 incher. I believe it is a reed runner. So the blades are black and orange with some silver fleck on there, as is the head of the bait, and then the skirt is black and orange. And that trailer hook is the reason I caught that fish. He kind of swiped at it and only caught that back hook. His bite was so gentle. I was so lucky to land that fish. Another pike, not huge. Whoa! He started swimming with me. I couldn't feel him anymore. Don't know if I'm going to measure him or not. Whoa! Yeah, I will. He looks like a lot of fun. He might be like 24, 25 inches or so. Dang it! I want to release them nicely. They keep flopping and... Poor guys. Gonna do better next time. Fish number 3, or pike number 3 that I have measured, a 26 incher. Might as well fill out the limit today. They are biting the spinnerbait. Flat, calm, super sunny. Don't know why, but nice slow spinnerbait, and they are eating it up. So I think most of the fish have come in like some brush. I don't even know what that stuff is, but I cast on all 4 sides of it, and there's another one there. Fish will just, or pike will just be kind of laying in there sunning themselves, and that's where those last 2 nice ones came from. Normally this whole forest is dry, but right now it's about 2.5 feet of water. I friggin' love fishing through the trees and stuff like that, because I rarely ever get to fish any lakes or anything that have trees in them. The only catch is my rods catching on everything. I can lay them down and stuff like that, but with multiple rods it's always dangerous in the forest. Another pike, but he doesn't look that big. Might as well measure him since we're in a measuring mood today. Another one on the spinnerbait. Probably 24 inches. 25 incher, pike number 4 for the stringer. I'm so happy I'm catching decent pike now. My 4 biggest pike have all been today in like 4 hours, whereas I fished 24 hours on the long weekend to catch 11 or 12 pike that were all under 21 inches. Just crazy. But when they're ready, they're ready. Got ourselves a tiny pike, smallest one of the day. Definitely not going to measure him. It's one of the smallest I've caught this year. On the trailer hook again, gotta love it. Another teeny tiny bass. It's not that small, but don't want my 5th one to be that tiny. It's not worth the time and effort to measure them, because it'd probably take like 5 minutes when there could be a big Bertha lurking right next to him. Another pike. I think that's like, in the last 10 casts, I've caught 4 just little guys. That one's not bad. It's not as small as the others, but it's still probably it's probably under 20 inches or right around 20 inches. And I'd like to stick with 25 plus if I can. That was 45 seconds after the last one. This is getting fun. Another little pikey. These little ones get angry. I was debating measuring him, but he's probably like 22-ish. Not that exciting. Almost got our 5 measured. Dang it, they're getting smaller. That one's like 14 inches. Need to get back into those big guys. No, huge one. No, that was monstrous. I couldn't tell exactly how big, but it was huge. Come on, be a pike. Okay, got one. Not very big, but I am gonna measure it just so I have my 5 done, and then probably call it a day. It's been about 6.5 hours, so it was a good session, but it was intense. Definitely not one of my 5 best today, but just to end the day on a full stringer, we'll add this guy. 20.5. Just a little pipsqueak. At least he was over 20. I was saying the minimum I wanted was 25, but it's getting late, I'm getting hungry. I only planned on doing like 4 hours and it's been 6.5, because right at the end is when I think that's like my 11th pike today, maybe 12th, maybe more. But right as I was getting close to the end of my 4 hours is when I caught 90% of them. And I can't leave when the bite is hot. Is this a fish? Come on, be a good pike. What are you? Oh my gosh, great pike. Oh my gosh. It, as soon as I made the first reel, it was heavy. So I actually kind of thought I was snagged. Yes. Another 30 plus incher. Uh-oh, he's under me. Oh, what a great day. Just need to land this and I am happy. Well, I need to measure it as well. Yes! So last year I didn't catch, I don't think I ever caught 2 good ones in one day. Yes, I needed this. Oh, thank goodness. Awesome. Not huge, probably around 34 inches again, but still. To win, I'm gonna need 5 that are 30 or bigger. Hell yeah, spinnerbait, thank you. .35 incher, even bigger than my previous one. Yes, thank you. All right. Yes. A 35 incher and a 34.5 incher. Yes. I think that would have been my 3rd and 4th biggest last year. Oh, I needed that. Well, there's about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks left of this pike tournament, so still plenty of time to make lots of upgrades. Hopefully you guys enjoyed part 1 of this video. Not sure how many more parts are coming, probably 2 or 3, but let's hope some giants are in store. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you can see how the tournament ends up. I'll put what place I'm currently in today after those 5. So I'm in this place, whatever it is, and I'll see you guys again soon.